Perder na Champions League, perder na Liga, ou perder se eu tiver em campo, é Neymar primeiro e depois vem o resto da equipe, sabe? Eu sei da carga que eu carrego, eu sei da responsabilidade que eu tenho. A galera não vai falar, o Paris jogou mal. Não vai cair tudo nas costas do Neymar.
Growing up as football fans in this generation, whenever the GOAT debate was brought up, we would be quick to pick Cristiano Ronaldo against Lionel Messi, two of the greatest of this generation. Nonetheless, whenever we stepped on the field to play five-a-side on a rainy Sunday night with school looming at the start of the week, we would always try to practice our skills, whether it be sidestepping defenders, rainbow flicking the ball over our own heads, or even trying to Rabona the ball top bins. At one point or another, we have all wanted to play like the skillful 5'9" prodigy that was tearing up our YouTube recommendation feed with skill compilations, Neymar, the youngster who created the football starboy mold for many youngsters to follow. In current day football, we have seen many try to capture the prime Neymar had, but not many have come close as the original starboy. But with the recent announcement of Neymar's transfer to al-hilal, this sparks a question of where all his talent and hype went. So let's have a quick retrospective on what has been a legacy of a career, and evaluate whether Neymar's name will be engraved in the hearts of the children of the next generation like it had been for us.
Home to many fantastic football players, from Ronaldo Nazario to Ronaldinho, is often seen as the pinnacle of football breeding ground, with talented players being found in every street corner, with numerous youngsters emerging by the second, from Vinicius Jr. to Rodrigo to Anthony. See, what defines Brazil from any other country in their development of football is the ability to build skill through street football, whether it be matches played in favelas or organized games for actual clubs. Brazilians play football the moment they are born, leading to exceptional football IQ and a fantastic grasp on skill and technique. This was not an exception for Neymar. Born in the heart of Brazil in Mogi das Cruzes, Sao Paulo on February 5th of 1992 to Neymar Santos Sr. and Nadine da Silva, Neymar grew up in a culture that cultivated and appreciated the art of football. Neymar's father was a professional player, and as such had a large impact on shaping Neymar into becoming the player he is to this day. Apart from his familiar influence and his love for football, Neymar's childhood spent in Sao Paulo led him to grow up with a very strong base in street football, and had his passion for indoor futsal when he was not outside playing the game of soccer led to Neymar spending more and more time on the sport, developing and honing his craft, unlike other players at the time. When we consider how street football and futsal work to force players in smaller areas to make plays and finish it, makes it easier for us to digest how these formative years were important in building the Neymar we see to this day, who is so easily able to deke through defenders and find open spaces.
During Neymar's youth development, Neymar began playing with Santos FC in Brazil, where he continued to thrive in their youth system. Yet, while still playing in Santos, Neymar traveled to Europe to teams like Real Madrid to try out for their youth team. However, this did not pan out and was not something Neymar's father wanted for his family, and as such, the family moved back to Brazil, where Neymar would continue playing football with Santos' youth academy. Being touted as a young football prodigy in the making, Neymar made his professional debut on the 7th of March 2009. Despite being a child at 17 years old, brought into the game as a late substitution with 30 minutes left in the game, Neymar had his start. Yet this solid performance was just the start of Neymar's domination of Brazilian football. A week after his first appearance for Santos, Neymar went on to net his first professional goal, and this kept going with Neymar having decisive goals in major matches, such as the Campeonato Paulista, the top flight of Brazilian football. After his rookie season, Neymar had finished the season with 14 goals in only 48 games, keeping football fans intrigued and wanting more of the youngster. The next season saw a lot more success for Neymar, and the Santos side with Neymar having electrifying performances match after match. Netting 5 goals in a singular match to qualify Santos for the Brazilian Cup, to scoring 14 goals in 19 matches in the 2010 Campeonato Paulista, Neymar was being seen as the savior of Santos, being named as various tournament MVPs and helping Santos become the champions of Brazil. As such, the hype around the magical forward grew to mind-blowing proportions, with pundits titling Neymar as the second coming of Pelé. After another fantastic season with Santos and the hype mounting, Neymar saw himself become the hottest asset on the transfer market, with numerous English Premier League teams wanting to sign the youngster. From Chelsea to West Ham, offering around the range of £12 million to £20 million to secure the Brazilian prodigy. Nonetheless, Santos did not budge, but Neymar had aspirations to become the greatest in the world, and that meant fulfilling his dream of playing in Europe like the greats did before him. Yet, there was still trouble in paradise. With a very successful start with a combined 42 goals in 60 games over his first 2 seasons, Neymar began to grow more into his personality and became more and more comfortable in his playstyle, which led numerous of his coaches to identify Neymar as a player with a very hard attitude to coach. Seen numerous times, Neymar had grown into something bigger than the entire team, with Santos' board of directors often siding by Neymar's side when it came to any decisions, even sacking a manager who refused to let Neymar take a penalty. With that being said, Neymar was still performing better than ever, and in December 2010, aged just 18, Neymar came in 3rd place for the 2010 South American Footballer of the Year, behind Andres D'Alessandro and Juan Sebastian. Following Neymar's performances for Santos in their successful early 2010 season, including winning the 2010 Copa do Brasil, in which Neymar was the top goal scorer, and the 2010 Campeonato Paulista, in which Neymar scored 14 goals, former Brazilian football players Pelé and Romário reportedly urged coach Dunga to take Neymar to the 2010 World Cup. Although the widespread opinion that Neymar deserved a place in Dunga's squad went as far as 14,000 signature petition, and despite the huge pressure on Dunga to pick Neymar, he was omitted from both the squad of 23 and the standby list. Although Dunga described Neymar as extremely talented, he said that he had not been tested sufficiently on the international level to earn a World Cup spot, and he had failed to impress enough while on international duty. However, Neymar did not have to wait long to suit up for the green and yellow. On 26 July 2010, Neymar was selected for the first time in the Brazil senior team by new head coach Mano Menezes for a friendly match against the United States. On the 10th of August 2010, he made his debut with the national team that game, aged 18 years old, starting the match and wearing the number 11 jersey. He scored on his debut after 28 minutes, a header coming from an Andre Santos cross, and a 2-0 win for Brazil. Over the course of the next 3 years, Neymar would cement himself as one of the greatest talents in the world, going on an amazing run that is unmatched this day by any other youngster. To start off, Neymar scored 6 goals for Santos in 2011 Copa Libertadores, the Champions League of South America, making him the 3rd top goal scorer at just 19 years of age. Neymar then went on to win the Man of the Match in the Copa Libertadores final, bringing Santos their first Libertadores win since Pelé's 1963 run. With this constant tear of performances, Real Madrid were right on the tail of signing the Phenom, which pressured Santos to offer a contract extension that would see Neymar stay with the club until after the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. The deal reportedly increased Neymar's wages by 50%, to the levels that top European clubs would be paying him. Furthermore, during this historic run, Neymar and Santos represented South America at the FIFA Club World Cup, where he infamously played. Yet Neymar in 2011 was not done, going as far as winning the 2011 FIFA Puskas Award for scoring a solo goal in the Brasileiro Serie A, and to end the historic year in December of 2011, Neymar was crowned the 2011 South American Footballer of the Year award for the first time, by a record margin, following in the footsteps of Diego Maradona and Pelé. Additionally, Neymar was the leading goal scorer of the 2011 South American Youth Championship with 9 goals, including 2 in the final, in Brazil's 6-0 win against Uruguay. He also took part of the 2011 Copa America in Argentina, where he scored 2 goals in the first round game against Ecuador. He was selected man of the match in Brazil's first match against Venezuela, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Brazil were eliminated in the quarterfinals in a penalty shootout against Paraguay. Turning 20 in 2012, Neymar scored his 100th goal as a professional football player, against Palmeiras in the Campeonato Paulista. Neymar finished this Campeonato Paulista campaign with 20 goals and was voted the best player and best forward, and Santos were crowned champions once more. Furthermore, Neymar tied as top scorer in the Copa Libertadores with 8 goals after Santos were beaten over 2 legs by eventual champions Corinthians in the semifinals. On the 11th of May 2012, Neymar was selected for the squad of the Brazilian Olympic football team to participate in the London 2012 Olympic Games. After a fantastic showing in the first couple of matches, Brazil found themselves in the quarterfinal encounter against Honduras, where Neymar scored a penalty, his 3rd goal of the tournament, and assisted in Leonardo Damião's 2nd goal of the match, held Brazil to a 3-2 victory at St. James's Park, and book a place in the semifinals. Yet nonetheless, during the finals, Brazil lost 2-1 to Mexico at Wembley Stadium in London. Neymar finished off the 2012 season in style by being voted the best player of the 2012 Copa Suramericana and finishing the 2012 Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A with 14 goals and being voted the best forward. Neymar finished the 2012 season being awarded the Golden Ball, Arthur Friedenreich Award, and Armando Nogueira Trophy. He was one of 3 finalists in the 2012 FIFA Puskás Award and finished runners-up behind Miroslav Stoch. He won the 2012 South American Football Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. Yet 2013 marked the end of Neymar in Brazilian professional football. On the 18th of March 2013, Neymar said they had a dream of playing in Europe for a big club like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Chelsea. But he went on to say, "There's no point in speculating when I'll leave Santos. I'll leave when I want to." On the 25th of April 2013, his agent and father revealed that Neymar intended to leave for Europe before the 2014 FIFA World Cup, which ultimately went against the offered contract extensions from Santos.
After a hard and long transfer window on May 25th of 2013, Neymar announced he would sign with Barcelona on the 27th of May 2013 on a €57.1 million transfer with a release clause set at €190 million. Following the announcement on June 3rd of 2013, Neymar was unveiled at the Camp Nou in front of 56,500 fans, a record turnout. However, on the international stage, Neymar was providing himself to be a dominant figure in the football scene. Neymar was selected as part of Luis Felipe Scolari's Brazil squad for the 2013 Confederations Cup on home soil. At this tournament leading up to the 2014 World Cup, Neymar's performances would land him the Golden Ball for the tournament MVP, netting a total of 4 goals, the 3rd most at the tournament, and helping Brazil beat Spain in the finals to win the tournament as a whole. With Neymar proving his worth at the international stage, La Liga was next up for him to conquer. In his debut season, Neymar netted a total of 15 goals in a total of 41 games for Barca. This star was something that kept coolers glued to their seat with excitement over the future of their club. But before we move into Neymar's best season at Barca, we need to take a quick break. The 2014 World Cup, hosted in Neymar's home country of Brazil. For many, we consider this World Cup to be the best of our generation, for it being the introduction to football for many of this generation. As anyone could understand, this specific World Cup was important not just for Brazil but for Neymar, who has been touted even as a youngster to be the hope for the future of Brazilian football. And as many might realize, this might have been a lot of pressure for the kid, but he was up to the task. On the 2nd of June, to the surprise of no one, Neymar was named in the Brazil squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Going to the tournament, as the team's star player, Neymar was expected to lead Brazil to their 6th World Cup success, and first title on home soil. In the opening match against Croatia, after a yellow card, Brazil scored a goal. Neymar was able to open the scoring with an electrifying equalizer before halftime, with a shot from outside the box, which was followed by a second-half penalty kick, leading to an eventual 3-1 win. Brazil's dominance would continue throughout the group stage, reaching the round of 16. In the round of 16 against Chile, the match finished 1-1 after 120 minutes and was decided by a penalty shootout, with Neymar scoring what proved to be the winning kick for Brazil, bringing Brazil to a quarterfinal against Colombia. Neymar sustained a knee to the back by defender Juan Zuniga, leading to Neymar being assisted off the pitch with a fractured vertebrae, making him unable to play for the rest of the tournament. The next game has been etched into the mind of football fans as one of the most devastating matches in football history. Brazil would ultimately lose in front of their home crowd in a semi-final in a stunning 7-1 defeat to eventual champions Germany. A devastating loss left Brazil confused and saddened, and asking the question, what would have been different if Neymar was in the lineup? A question we to this day do not know the answer yet. This World Cup exit would be something that lay on Neymar's shoulders as one of the biggest what-ifs. From his excellent performance with 4 goals and 1 assist, Neymar was named on the 10-man shortlist for FIFA's Golden Ball Award for the tournament's best player. Nevertheless, Neymar won the bronze boot as the tournament's 3rd top goal scorer and was named in the World Cup All-Star 11. Returning back to Barca, Neymar played like never seen before. In his most dominant season of 2014 to 2015, we would watch as Neymar proved himself to be one of the greatest to ever lace up. Joined by Messi and new addition Luis Suarez, Neymar finished his 51-game campaign with 39 total goals, securing the treble by securing the La Liga title with a 1-0 win over Atletico Madrid, taking home the Copa del Rey against Atletico Bilbao and a 3-1 home win, and securing a Champions League 3-1 victory over Juventus to be named the Kings of Europe for the 5th time in club history. This made Barcelona the first club in history to win the treble of Domestic League, Domestic Cup, and European Cup twice. On top of all that, Neymar became the 8th player in football's history to win both the Copa Libertadores and the UEFA Champions League. Moreover, Neymar's dominance wasn't just solely in Spain, with him adding a total of 10 goals in the Champions League, making him joint highest scorer with Cristiano Ronaldo and teammate Lionel Messi. Barcelona's MSN attacking trio ended the season with 122 goals, the most in a season for an attacking trio in Spanish football history. Dominance continued into the next season. Finishing the season with 31 goals and a domestic double, Neymar was shortlisted for the 2015 FIFA Ballon d'Or alongside Messi and Ronaldo, and subsequently came third. Yet again, MSN finished the season with 131 goals, breaking the record they had set the previous year for most goals by an attacking trio in a single season, showing Barca's dominance at the European stage, with Neymar being a contributing factor to one of Europe's strongest sides. But as anyone knows, a peak is defined by its sharp drop. In the lead-up to the 2016 Summer Olympics, with captain Thiago Silva ruled out through injury, new coach Dunga decided to make Neymar captain. At the ripe age of just 22 years, Neymar had scored 40 goals in 58 internationals, and had become the fifth highest goal scorer for his national team. In late June 2016, he was subsequently one of the 3 over-23 players to be included in Brazil's squad for the 2016 Summer Olympics on home soil, and was named the team's captain by the Olympic side manager Rogério Michel. As many might understand, these Olympic Games meant more to Neymar than any other player in the tournament. Coming off what was one of the lowest moments of his short career, with him being injured as he watched his team get dismantled, to the home crowd made his Brazilian Summer Olympic Games a personal battle. To tear in the tournament, Neymar's poetic run built up to a climactic final against Germany, the same team that destroyed Neymar's hopes of a maiden World Cup win at home. Neymar opened the scoring with a free kick after just 27 minutes. The game finished 1-1, after Max Meyer equalized in the second half, leading up to the penalty shootouts. Tension built up. At the end of the story, Brazil beat Germany 5-4 in penalties, and Neymar scored the winning penalty to bring Brazil its first Olympic gold medal in men's football. Even after this performance, both during and prior to the tournament, Neymar was ridiculed by Brazilian media and pundits across the world, being called unfit to lead this historic team due to his boldness and unorthodox style of play. The criticism piled up with several former Brazil players, suggesting that he was not fit to captain the national team, and as such, even after winning the tournament, Neymar found himself alone in victory, supported by few on his side, leading to his eventual resignation of captaincy from Brazil. Back at Barca, things would change the following season, where we saw Neymar emerge as a stronger overall player and develop from a level above. Although in his 40-game campaign, he had netted a smaller sum of 20 goals, Barca fans were quick to notice that Neymar had evolved his game to take a step to become a better leader and team player, helping Barca stay strong and consistent throughout all showings. This was elegantly demonstrated in Barcelona's 6-1 victory over PSG in the 2016-17 UEFA Champions League round of 16. Down 4-0 after a poor Game 1 on aggregate, Neymar played a miraculous and heroic role in Barcelona's return, by scoring 2 goals and assisting the decisive goal of Sergio Roberto during the closing 7-minute sequence, of which he was named man of the match, based on his efforts of creating the biggest comeback in Champions League history. Yet, Neymar's heroic efforts were not met with any credit from the Spanish media, disregarding Neymar's fantastical individual performance to highlight leader Lionel Messi's efforts, only fueled by Barcelona themselves playing into this narrative. Many describe this match as the turning point in Neymar's career at Barca, whether it may be seen as selfishness or maturity. Neymar saw that his role at Barca was second fiddle to Messi. Neymar, no matter what he did for the Barca side, would live in the shadow of Messi. For the young boy who wanted to be great, this was not what he wanted. Yet why would you ever want to leave your idols, if not for the pursuit of greatness, to become the greatest? And as such, Neymar put in word that he would be departing the Catalans after playing to the tunes of adoration and criticism in the Camp Nou for 196 games, finishing his time at Barca with a total of 114 goals. Mired in doubt about his future, Neymar would embark to Paris Saint-Germain on August 3rd of 2017, with a $222 million transfer fee, which became the most expensive transfer ever. Backed by Qatari funding, PSG were pushing to rebuild and become dominant figures in Europe, and signing Neymar was what they had considered then to be the first step in reaching this eventual goal. Excited to finally become the face of his own team. But therein lies an issue, a Ninja Turtles-sized issue, the signing of prolific French youngster Kylian Mbappe from AS Monaco. With an attacking trio of Neymar, Edinson Cavani, and Kylian Mbappe, PSG would push for a domestic treble. Yet Neymar fractured his metatarsal in a match that would cut his season short, ending his debut season with 28 goals in 30 matches. During the summer of 2018, Neymar would be another chance to perform for Brazil at the international stage in Russia, Here, Neymar would perform adequately, but his matches would be mired in more criticism, as many media sources dubbed Neymar as a flagrant diver, with Neymar's reputation taking a tear after match with mediocre performances coming off injury. Ultimately, Neymar and Brazil would be eliminated in a 2-1 loss to Belgium. Yet his fellow teammate Kylian Mbappe saw an astonishing range of success, leading France as a star boy in his maiden World Cup with 4 goals and 1 assist to help the Bleu Blanc et Rouge lift their 2 World Cup and finishing the tournament as the best young player. In essence, when we look at Mbappe's performance at the tournament, we see a glimpse of what Neymar could have been, and with Mbappe's success and Neymar's unfortunate failure, the world had adopted their newest star boy and wonder kid. Neymar had been pushed to the side for the younger, less injury-prone generational talent of Kylian Mbappe, the boy with the world at his feet. PSG and Ligue 1 shifted their attention to cater to the needs of Mbappe, and just like that, Neymar and the club he sought refuge to become the leader and face of had been hijacked by the face of France football. In the aftermath of this, Neymar would see his play decline in quality, with it being a mixed combination of the development of Mbappe and the sustained injuries Neymar faced. After a Ligue 1 title win in 2019, with a total of 15 goals in 17 league appearances, Neymar found himself at the precipice of European success. On the 31st of July, Paris Saint-Germain won the 2020 Coupe de la Ligue finale on 6-5 penalties over Lyon, following a 0-0 draw after extra time, which saw the side complete a domestic treble, with Neymar netting 1 of the penalties in the shootout. On top of that, during the suspended season, a lot of fans were able to witness what might have actually been a truly star-studded turn in the performance of Neymar. Playing fantastically in the European Championships, Neymar and Mbappe led PSG to reach the Champions League final for the first time in its history. This was an extremely crucial moment in Neymar's career, as he was now the frontman of one of Europe's most dominant squads, and by bringing them to this final, a lot of pressure rode on Neymar to excel and prove his worth. In essence, looking back at the event, this was essentially Neymar's last shot at redemption, his only hope to shut the critics down and prove that he was the leader he was always meant to be. He was the face of his own club. He was the reason why success followed him. He was a player of utmost skill and class. Paris Saint-Germain kicked off the match, though Bayern Munich became quickly in the opening stages before Paris found their way into the game after 10 minutes. In the 18th minute, PSG had their first clear opportunity when Kylian Mbappe passed to Neymar on the left side of the penalty area, but his shot was blocked by the leg of Bayern goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. In the 22nd minute, Bayern forward Robert Lewandowski received the ball in the penalty area, swiveling and shooting the ball towards the goal, which deflected off the inside of the left post and back into play. 2 minutes later, Angel Di Maria found himself with space in front of goal after a 1-2 with Ander Herrera, but shot the ball over the crossbar of Neuer's goal. In the 45th minute, a misplaced pass by David Alaba in the Bayern backline fell in front of Mbappe, who played a 1-2 with Herrera before shooting the ball straight at Neuer when confronted by a clear opening on goal. Throughout the first half of the match, Neymar and the PSG crew were pushing to secure the win, yet everything they did was just slightly out of reach. On to the second half, where Bayern would come out of the gates and secure a 1-0 lead in the 59th minute with a header by Kingsley Coman, a PSG Academy graduate. Bayern, after grabbing the lead, subsequently switched to a more defensive approach. In the 70th minute, Neuer made another save with his leg after Marquinhos found himself clear on goal, following a pass from Angel Di Maria into the left side of the penalty box. In the dying minutes of the match came in stoppage time, when Mbappe ran down the inside left channel and passed to Neymar on the left side of Bayern's penalty box, who turned sharply, and his shot narrowly missed the far post, with substitute Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting's outstretched leg failing to meet the ball directly in front of the goal. Minutes later, the match ended, and unknowingly, Neymar blew his last big chance. Time and time again, Neymar attempted to rally together star-studded performances, but the harder he tried and the more he gave, the more he fell on his face flattened, leaving himself disappointed, but more importantly the fans of the boy from Brazil devastated by yet again another performance short of greatness. After this season, Neymar would continually face backlash, becoming injured very often from 2020 to 2022. Adding insult to injury, Neymar would watch from the sidelines in 2019 as Brazil lifted the Copa America without him, fueling a lot of speculation and discussion in the footballing community about whether or not Neymar was ever a valued asset or liability for the Brazilian team that seemed to be clicking without him. To boot, Neymar would see himself eventually losing out the 2021 Copa America to Argentina, just adding more hatred towards the player and his ability to perform the clutch, all deterring him from really putting in as much effort as before. Why would he want to at this point? Every time he tried, he was mocked, disrespected, and ended up on the losing side. And as such, Neymar really stepped back from his old creative playstyle and really watched him wither away into a more quieter footballer, showing the levels of depth in not only his football development from his years in Santos, but the emotional maturity that was brought forward through the years of constant media scrutiny. At the club level, Neymar was joined by former teammate Lionel Messi, who with the play split among three superstars, would never truly be able to regain his prime form for long stretches, leading many to criticize his lack of play and shift media attention from him to the emerging talent of Mbappe. In the winter of 2022, Neymar would compete in the World Cup, with him stating this would be his last chance to play for Brazil on the World Cup stage. Neymar, who sustained an early injury in the group stages, recovered from this injury to play against South Korea in the round of 16, where he assisted Vinicius Jr.'s opening goal and scored a penalty in a 4-1 win for Brazil. As a result, he became only the third Brazilian player ever, after Pelé and Ronaldo, to score in 3 different World Cups. 4 days later, into the quarterfinal match against Croatia, Brazil, who found themselves deadlocked heading into extra time, would see Neymar put on a masterclass showcase of his talent by scoring his 77th international goal to grab a 1-0 lead, equaling Pelé's official goal tally for the national team. Yet Croatia did not let up in the 117th minute. Petkovic forced Brazil to penalties. In the penalties, Neymar was set up to heroically take the team's final penalty, but after 4 goals from the Croatian side, with Brazil missing 2 of their 4, Neymar was left unable to help his team, watching from the line as Croatia advanced, killing his chances of disproving his international critics and bringing a 6th star back home. The tournament ended with Neymar's former teammate Messi getting a fairy tale ending to his fantastic career with a World Cup under his belt, which Neymar fell short for the 3rd year in a row. In the end, Neymar returned, but never was the same. Continually bashed on what could have been, from 2014 to 2016 to 2018 to now 2022, Neymar was aging with less and less to show for his career. It was clear that the boy from Brazil had changed, whether it be from the constant scrutiny of coaches or pundits. For the most part, whatever Neymar did, it was just not enough for others to give him the respect he deserved. With a loyal following and legacy of excellence mired around controversy and hypotheticals, Neymar's career in hindsight is an analysis of what it takes to be the greatest in the world: talent and hard work. But at the same time, Neymar serves as a reminder of how potential is affected by the environment it is cultivated in, and the importance of improvement over time. Nonetheless, after 173 games with PSG, Neymar ended his time at the French side with 118 goals and 77 assists to move on to his next chapter, al-Hilal in Saudi's Pro Football League. At such a young age of 31, with the majority of great players like Ronaldo and Messi still playing in Europe in the top tier of football, proving themselves year after year again, this move to Saudi Arabia is just another issue in Neymar's career waiting to be milked by his haters. The move, after being offered various positions on different contending teams in Europe, makes Neymar's decisive decision to play in Asia look like the stars giving up the intensity and drive he once had. This move definitely marks a transitioning period for his career. After spending numerous years in the top flight of Europe's finest, Neymar has called it quits, resigning himself from the goal he set out back in Santos' days of becoming the greatest player in the world to settle with being just another superstar who wasted their potential. Inking a €90 million transfer at age 31, this makes us all ponder the question: what was Neymar's impact on the game? Will it ever be replicated? Will the generations to come forget about the story of the Brazilian who inspired generations of soccer players on and off the pitch? Will Neymar stand the test of time? Like most good questions, the answer will take time, but whatever it may be, in our eyes and many other lovers of football, Neymar has redefined football and in the hearts of any football fan made the sport more than just a game, but an art form.